Hello, I'm Paul Malley, president of Aging with Dignity. We're the national nonprofit organization that created the Five Wishes Advanced Care Planning Program. And I'm really grateful to be here with you today and that you've taken time to listen to this presentation. And I'm also grateful to the organization that's hosted this workshop today. We've been providing Five Wishes now for a little over 20 years, and we have been so grateful to have served more than 35 million people who have used Five Wishes in all 50 states across the United States and around the world. And we've been able to do that as a grassroots movement thanks to the partnership of organizations like the one that's hosting today's presentation. Those organizations, the partners of ours, include all types of groups from healthcare providers, hospitals, doctors' offices, hospices, to places of worship, churches, other community organizations, financial planners, even workplaces that provide Five Wishes to their employees as an employee benefit for them and their families. So a sincere thank you, to you organizations and champions and Five Wishes ambassadors who have spread the word to the people who you know and care about. Thank you. So what we're going to talk about today is how you can use Five Wishes personally for yourself and your friends or your close family members to get the gift of peace of mind. And I say peace of mind because that's really the immediate benefit that comes from having this conversation today and thinking about Five Wishes and filling out your document and having that satisfaction of knowing that it meets the legal requirements. So that peace of mind is something that's a benefit to all adults, whether you're 18 or 80 or more than 80, any adult, everybody 18 and over can benefit from using Five Wishes. And we'll talk now about how you can do that. And what I hope is that you'll find it helpful for yourself, and then you might share it with the people around you and the organizations around you as well. So I'm going to bring up my screen now to share the screen with you as we go through the presentation and focus on some of these details. And we'll begin by telling you just a little bit more about us, about our organization. As I mentioned, we're a national nonprofit. We were founded by a man named Jim Toohey, and Jim was legal counsel to Mother Teresa of Calcutta for about 12 years. And he also lived and worked in her homes for the dying. So he spent time at the bedside of people who were approaching the end of life. And it was that experience that really inspired him to found Aging with Dignity and to create Five Wishes with a focus on what it means to honor someone's human dignity, their worth, and their value, what it means to honor that and to be present with somebody. That could mean holding their hand, praying for them if that's what they wanted, calling them by name, those sorts of little things that convey to somebody, I'm here with you, I care about you, I know you, you matter to me. Those are the things that are built in, baked into Five Wishes, along with the important medical and legal questions that we'll talk more about. And I think because Five Wishes addresses those issues that many people say really matter the most, that's why more than 35 million people have used it, because it's helpful and it's meaningful. It means something to you. When we ask people, both from our experience over the past 2 decades, as well as national research, ask the question, if you were sick and near the end of life, what would be most important to you? People often say things like, I want to be at home if that's possible, and I don't want to be in pain, and I don't want to be alone. I want to have my family or my close friends with me. And I still want to have some control in what's decided for me, even if I can't speak for myself. Those are the things that people say often matter the most. So the contrast is, unfortunately, what often happens is almost the exact opposite, that people experience the days leading up to the end of their life, sometimes connected to tubes and machines that they wouldn't want to be, or receiving treatment that they might not want if they had been asked or talked about it, often in the care settings that are not of their choice. And we know that even though most of us have some pretty strong ideas about what we would want and what would be important to us, the vast majority of people have not completed any sort of advance directive or living will. So that means that while we know what's important to us, we haven't communicated that to our family and to our doctors. That's what Five Wishes will help you to do as you use it. So here were some of our goals when we created Five Wishes. When we first set out to look at the issue of advanced care planning, we looked at the advanced directives and the living wills that were out there, and every state has a different document sometimes. They were really hard to understand. They were, most of them, written in medical and legal jargon that were hard to understand, even with a medical or a law degree, let alone sitting down at a dining room table and filling it out with your family. So we wanted Five Wishes to be simple, written in everyday language, focus on peace of mind, and focus on family conversations. The beauty of Five Wishes really unfolds as you use it with the people who you care about. That could be your close friend, it could be your close family, your distant family. But the beauty there is in talking about this together and understanding what each other would want in case you're in the position of providing care for someone, so that you're not left to guess or second guess what your parent or loved one would have wanted. Those were the things that we had in mind when we first created Five Wishes. So now let's drill in a little bit deeper into the actual document itself. Now, the organization that's hosting today's presentation, they may have already provided you with a hard copy of Five Wishes. It's a booklet, pamphlet. It looks like this, 12 pages that you can flip through and fill out using a pen. There are also versions of Five Wishes that can be completed on your computer screen. So you might have received a link where you can complete Five Wishes or print it that way. So any of those options work. They're all good. And if you don't yet have a copy of Five Wishes, still keep watching this presentation. And at the end, you'll see information on how to contact us to get a copy of Five Wishes or to get more copies of Five Wishes for your family members. So Wish 1, the beginning of the document, allows you to name a person to act on your behalf, someone who you trust to make healthcare decisions for you if you can't make them for yourself. Legally, this is sometimes called a durable power of attorney for healthcare, or a healthcare agent. The way that Wish 1 works is that on the left side of the page, you can name a first choice, then a second and a third choice as your healthcare agent. This is important because, imagine that you named one of your adult children or your best friend, and maybe you are in a car accident and you're not able to make your own decisions even for a limited time, or maybe you have a terminal illness and you're near the end of life and you no longer have the mental capacity to make your own decisions. Either way, then the doctors would want to know, who do we contact? Well, the reason that a first choice and then a second choice and third choice are there are in case that person who you've named as your first choice, if they're not available, they're not willing or able to make decisions for you, then that second and third choice, they're backups to make sure that you still have a trusted person making decisions on your behalf and working with your healthcare team to do what's right for you. So give some thought to naming those people. Those are important. It might not be the first person who comes to your mind. It may not be your closest family member. Sometimes spouses talk together and they realize that they're not the best person to be the healthcare agent for the other one. It might be that's a sibling. It might be a close friend. Sometimes families get together and they talk about this, and maybe a parent tells one of their children, "I'd like you to be my healthcare agent," and the adult child says, "I don't think I can do this," or "I don't want to do this." Much better to have that conversation ahead of time than to be surprised by it, or for your family to be surprised by it when they're in an emergency room waiting room. So give this some thought. Think about the right person to be your healthcare agent. And then on the right side of the page on Wish 1, there are powers that healthcare agent would have, like interpreting your wishes, making medical decisions, uh, consenting to moving you to a different location or changing providers. If there's anything that you see there that you don't want, then just cross it out. And at the bottom of Wish 1, there are blank lines. People tell us they really like the blank lines because this is where they can put in their wishes in their own words. In Wish 1, I've seen some people give direction to their healthcare agents that they'd like them to try to work together to come to consensus on a decision if that's possible. That's fine. That's a good place to put it. Other people might tell their healthcare agent in those blank lines that they want them to talk with their priest or their rabbi or their minister to get some guidance or instruction about making decisions in line with their religious tradition or teaching. Those blank lines are a great place to put that as well, or whatever else you want to say. It's also important to know that 5 wishes or any advance directive, it doesn't have an expiration date. It's valid until you change it or until you void it. But that means it's even more important that you go back and look at your document every once in a while to make sure that it's still accurate, that it still reflects your wishes today. This is also important if you're listening to this message and you think, oh, either I or a family member, we filled out an advance directive years ago, so we're all set. We don't need to do that again. Well, that may be true, but go back and look at what you filled out. Make sure it still matches your wishes today. And what we would say is at least every 10 years, go back and look at this. And some people go back and look at it once a year. Some people I know put a little tickler in their tax folder so that every year when they do their taxes, they go back and look at their important legal documents just to make sure they're still on target. But if you have any other life changes, death in the family, marriage, divorce, change in your health condition or health condition of maybe somebody who you picked as your healthcare agent, that might mean you want to change your healthcare agent. So any of those changes, make sure you go back and look at your form and then update it as needed. Wish number 2 is similar to what's commonly known as the living will. It asks the questions about life support treatment and when you'd want it or not want it. It provides a pretty broad definition of all the types of treatment that could be considered life support treatment in Wish 2. And then again, it gives you blank lines so that you can express any direction or preferences that you want to in your own words. That might be the place where you want to limit the meaning of life support treatment. If you want to give specific instruction, for example, on artificial nutrition and hydration or feeding tubes, that would be the place to be able to write it in your own words. Then on the right side of the page, there are 3 different scenarios that people are likely to be in near the end of life. And again, these were given to us, and this is based on the guidance from national medical experts, as well as our legal consultant at the American Bar Association's Commission on Law and Aging, that looked at state statutes on advanced care planning and as well as the medical treatment protocols. And those voices of guidance and expertise are baked into 5 wishes as well. So on Wish 2, as you're looking at these scenarios, starts off with the scenario under the headline close to death. You're offered 3 different options. Either, yes, I would want life support treatment. No, I don't want life support treatment. Or a third, what's sometimes a middle ground option. I want it if it could help my condition or symptoms, but I want it stopped if it's not helping my condition or symptoms. And the good rule of thumb there is to choose the option that best reflects your preferences, your wishes. Choose one of those 3 options that seems like it clicks with you, that says, yes, this is what I want to communicate. And again, remember that in this wish, both under the life support treatment definition and then again at the end of Wish 2, there are blank lines. So if there's any question in your mind or any clarity that you want to provide on what you're trying to communicate, use those blank lines to express your wishes in your own words. Wish number 3 now pivots to the next part of 5 wishes, really, which focuses on the personal and the emotional and the spiritual issues that are important to us. Wish 3 talks about physical comfort. What does it mean for you to be comfortable? It talks about pain management, when you'd want it or when you might want to put greater emphasis on being aware and fully awake and present. it balances those, it lets you balance those things out and give instruction to your family and to your doctors about what's most important to you. There's a picture here of somebody wearing thick socks because I know in my own personal story, I remember caring for my grandmother, and she always had hot feet. And by that, I mean, she always said her feet were warm and she didn't want to be tucked in. She didn't want her feet to be bundled up or to have thick socks on. And sometimes very well-meaning nurses and aides would come in and tuck her feet in. And the first thing that I would always do when I visited her was just lift up the blanket at the bottom of her toes and let her toes stick out, and she'd get a big smile on her face. And, sometimes those things might seem like they're small and they're insignificant. I remember it made a world of difference to my grandmother. It made a world of difference to me to be able to have something that even as a young child, I was able to do. So often family members, as caregivers, we want to do what's right and best for the people we love, but we're not sure what that is. And sometimes it could be as simple as knowing whether our grandmother wants to have thick socks on or whether she wants her toes poking out at the end of a blanket. Wish 3 also asks things like if you want to be massaged. And some people, I know my mother said, I like massages, but don't touch my feet because that tickles. Little things like that. Sometimes people write in the margins of favorite scents that they have. One woman wrote that she loved lavender, and her family went out and got every lavender scented thing that they could find and used lavender hand lotion. It was beautiful. Those are the types of things that you can convey in wish number 3. Wish number 4 focuses on how you want people to treat you, whether you want people with you, who you'd like to have with you, if you want to have music played. I remember one woman said, I love music. You can play music, but don't send in the harps. I don't want any harps. I don't want harp music around me when I'm sick. Again, small, but really important to know. She felt very strongly about no harps. And that could have been something that a well-meaning family would have just not known and done the opposite of what she wanted if they didn't know. There's also a section in Wish 4 that says, I want to be called by name, please call me. And then there's a blank line. Some people like their healthcare providers and their caregivers to call them by their first name, to be informal. Other people would prefer to be called Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so or Dr. So-and-so. That's one of the most personal things that we all have, is our name and how we're called. So that's important. So give thought to that and write down what you'd like to be called in wish number 4. Wish number 5 gets really literally to the heart of it. Talks about issues of the heart and soul, allows you to express to the people close to you love, forgiveness, whatever is right and appropriate for you and for those who are close to you. Wish 5 gives you the template to be able to do that. Again, it touches on the issues that after now 2 decades of experience with advanced care planning, we know are important to most people. It also lets you tell your healthcare providers what is most important for them to know about you. Now, as you complete 5 wishes, it's important to follow the instructions at the end. At the back page of the document, all the instructions are there to tell you how to sign it and have it witnessed by 2 people. There are just a few states that require notarization. Most don't. But then once you fill out 5 wishes, you want to make copies of it. Bring a copy to your doctor on the next visit. Talk to your family about it. Don't keep it a secret. Don't fill out 5 wishes and stuff it in a safe deposit box at a bank or hide it away somewhere. Tell anyone who would be involved in your care that you filled out 5 wishes and where to get it, and talk about it. Also be sure to activate your 5 wishes. At our website, 5wishes.org/activate, provide your email address and we'll keep you up to date if there are any changes in your state law or anything else that you need to know about. Then, of course, after you've completed 5 wishes, you want to talk to your doctor about it, bring it to your next visit, include it in your medical record, and then also talk to your family and your loved ones. And here's an important tip. Start where it feels comfortable. It might feel comfortable to start at wish 5 and work your way backward. It might feel comfortable to start by saying, the most important thing for you to know is that I love you. and start there and then work your way through it. Start with where it feels comfortable. And oftentimes, if you want to talk with family members about their wishes, the best way to start is to start with your own wishes first. Fill out 5 wishes for yourself, bring it to them, and let them know that you want to have a conversation about it. That's a little bit easier than putting them on the spot in the hot seat. Last thing is, let us know how we can help you. We're happy to answer any questions that you have about 5 wishes. There's a national toll-free hotline, 1-888-5-WISHES. Our website, 5wishes.org. We have a 5 Wishes video conversation guide for individuals and families, translations available in 30 different languages. So tell us how we can be helpful to you, and know that we are here to be helpful to you, as well as the organization that hosted this presentation today. So as you go forward thinking about what's most important to you, the people you love, the people who you care about, doing what's right for them and bringing peace of mind to you and to those who are close to you, I think, and I know, and I believe after our years of experience, that 5 Wishes will be helpful as you go forward in those goals of taking good care of the people around you, the people who matter most to you, and making sure that those who would provide care to you aren't left to wonder what you would have wanted. Let us know how we can help. Thank you.